Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. So we are kicking off the arm wrestling buzz, guys. We got everybody in the house. We have Pradeep from ArmWrestling Newz. We got, hold on, we got a delay here. Just give me 1 second.
I think we are live. It's fine.
Are we on live now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're live.
So we got everybody in the house. We got Pradeep from ArmWrestling Newz. We got Josh from Grip and Rip Arm Wrestling channel. We got Tom Stubbenline from Tom's YouTube channel. Make sure to get over there and subscribe to all these guys. Amazing channels they got. And we got our special guest in the house tonight, Austin Jaggers. What's up, Austin? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Paul? How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, guys. So I just want to kind of give everybody a quick background of what we're trying to do here. We're going to be doing the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show. This is going to be a weekly show going on at 6 p.m. Wednesday Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we're kind of just going to go through all the topics of the week in the arm wrestling community and kind of give each one our perspective, because we got a broad range of people here. We got Pradeep, who's the arm wrestling news of our community. We got Josh, who's a big-time arm wrestling fan. We got Tom, who's kind of like the news guy of North America and also an arm wrestler. And we got me as being the promoter. So we're all going to give you all different kind of perspectives on all the new topics out there. So, guys, I want to first start off, since we got Austin in the house. I want to kind of just talk about Austin's great performance this past weekend. He was over at Winter Blast on the East Coast, and he had two impressive wins against the Giant, Derek Smith. So, Austin, want to kind of just talk about that and, kind of give us like the whole background. How did it all go down? Talk about your trip there and just the whole event in particular.
Okay, cool. Of course, I was looking forward to it because how me and Tim Breslin match went and how Derek did against Tim. So I was really anxious, really nervous. I know Derek's a big old dude. And it was just tricky at first. The first three matches, luckily, he had elbow fouled on that third one. The first match was he was overwhelmingly strong and just long. Like I was saying earlier before we went live, it was just so much into my fingertips. It was really hard to try to match up top with him. And I'm usually, that's what I did. When I won Arnold's, I went up top with everybody. I just went straight back and sideways. And with Derek, I had to go a whole other route. I kind of had to, I had to go back to the basics. What do you do with someone with a long arm? You kind of grab low. And, it was more of, instead of trying to play his game with him, usually I can do that with somebody and still be pretty dominant. But with Derek, on the other hand, I kind of had to get smart. I had to go back to the basics, grab low. Luckily, started stopping him before he got me to the pad. And it just and my conditioning. I've worked so hard on my conditioning. I've really worked for not being able to run out of steam. I do king of the table probably every practice I go to. So it's just kind of building up for matches like that. And with Derek, man, it was a war. It was an absolute war. And I couldn't have any in the first match and the second match. In the back of my mind, he didn't feel like he was out of range or anything like that. I kept telling myself, if you can watch the video, you see I stay calm, I stay collected. I'm just kind of sitting there thinking to myself, I got this. I just got to figure out how to stop him from getting me. I got to stop my hand from getting the pad. If I can just hold off and hang in there, and that's what happened. So, and I've been working on my press. So it's just nice to be able to get my frame in behind something. That's one thing I don't understand why Derek does not do. That dude should press. He's already on top of the table. He's so tall. His shoulder's already on over. I just don't see why someone if I was 6'9", I'd press every single time right off the bat. Just boom, just on top of my arm, just lean down on it.
As far as the rule set, like Derek mentioned that he wasn't very familiar with like the running fouls. Is that something you've trained a lot with, or?
No, I don't know, man. I just keep pulling until the refs literally put their hands on me or they're like, hey. So it's like running foul or not, man. If you didn't pin me, I'm probably going to keep pulling unless it's like an obvious elbow foul. But if I can understand, like I don't know the rules. Me and Derek, all we talked about really was what hand we were starting off with, and Derek wanted to go right. I told him I'm fine with that. We'll go right, and we'll start off with a right hand. So no, I mean I didn't know the exact rules. I just kind of kept pulling.
How does that differ for you from like WAF style rules? Would you say like what was the main difference?
I tell you what, man. Good reffing is one thing. Strict reffing is another thing. And then there's a point where there's like bad strict reffing. I guess it's just bad reffing. I shouldn't say bad strict reffing. It's just I kind of like the runners. I kind of like the running foul setup because it allows the match to continue to keep going on. Like unlike the Tim Breslin match, man, the stuff just ended on fouls. Like that's aggravating, man. If we would have had the runner fouls, it would have been a whole other story.
Well, Tim was in the ref's ears too, and he got in their head right away.
Yeah, Tim kind of
he was bullying the ref big time.
I like Tim a lot, but man, he punked the refs out. He really did. Oh, yeah. I try to be a pretty easygoing dude.
Right. I was watching that match. I was like, man, you need to start barking back.
Hey, don't kid. You're not the first person that told me that, man. You're like the 80th person that's like, dude, you're too nice, bro. Like you gotta. I mean,
if you think about it, it's part of the game, right? Like Devin says about like fighting, like every single little aspect. Like if you look at Jerry, how he's like elbow, in some of those Eastern West matches, like Engen, like that's one of the things Jerry does a lot as well.
Winner. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice, all the greats complain in the setup. The only one I think that doesn't really complain in the setup is Dave Chafee. I mean, that's it. I mean, John Brzezinski, he if he feels like he's getting gypped, he's going to say something. Yeah. I mean, Devon Larrett definitely won't keep his mouth shut. Everyone, Jerry. I mean, anyone, Matt Mask. If it's in the setup, they feel like they're getting gypped, they're going to yell about it. Or
you got to be super stubborn.
Yeah, And the thing is, I'm such an easygoing dude. It's like I just like before the match. Bart Woods. I thought he did an amazing job reffing, and it was the first time I'd ever met Bart, and I was grateful that he was the one that reffed it, but heck, I forgot where I was freaking going. My goodness, just
Austin, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about your trip there. So let's start off from the beginning. When did you get there? Did you get it there that day? Did you get there a day?
I got there the day before at about 10 p.m. So I didn't go to bed till probably close to 1 or 2 a.m. Because just a road trip, I had already been sitting all day, so I was just pretty fidgety, and I ended up going to bed. But I woke up, I slept pretty well. Woke up about 9:30, ate a big old breakfast. They had a buffet in the venue, so I went downstairs and ate a good breakfast, and it was a good buffet too. I had Lincoln with me. I stayed with my manager Lincoln and his family, it was good for me because his wife and kid was there, so it really kind of kept me settled down and just really relaxed. So that was nice.
Austin, can I ask you a question real quick? Do you think you could just rotate your phone so we could get a full screen of you over there?
Yeah, I love that, buddy.
No problem.
There you go. Is that better?
No, we got to turn it sideways.
Oh, got you.
Upside down, yeah. There you go. Much better. All
right, cool. My bad, dude.
So what time did you actually compete then that day? Were you the first match up?
It was, actually, I think we were like the second or third match. I can't remember, but it started supposed to start at 11, but it started more like 11:30 noon. So it was fairly early in the day.
Okay. Pradeep, can I just ask you a question? Are you watching the live chat right now, Pradeep?
Yeah.
Can you just keep me informed if we got any questions or anything in there? Because I don't. Every time I go to it, it starts echoing on my side and all that.
Yeah. All right. I'll be on it.
Perfect. So Austin, now you grip up with Derek and everything, and the first round or two didn't go your way. What was going through your head then?
Well, like I said, I was trying to stay calm and collected because I was there. I've been there before, just not in a long time. I haven't had anyone just straight overpower me over the top in a few years. And it was just me trying to go up top with somebody that long, that tall. it's just the more I kept trying to climb, it was like my wrist just kept going. I mean, Derek, just like I said, had more real estate. He was able to keep going where I was running out of room. So the first match, he pretty much got out of my hand, overpowered me. The second match, same exact thing. You know, I tried to do the same thing, and the
What was
third
going
match,
through your head though, right then? Were you like,
I
oh
mean,
shit, I'm
no.
screwed right now? Or
no, because I never got him. It would have been different if like he played with me. Like it would have been different if like the second match or something, he just caught me and kind of stared at me, then swung me back across, then I would be like, you know what, I'm screwed. But the first match, I honestly felt like he had like an early start. If you watched Already Go, like he's reacting as Bart before Bart even says anything. So that's going through my mind too. I'm thinking, yeah, he's strong. Yeah, he went up top, but I really felt like I didn't get I don't feel like it was, felt like he kind of went a little early. So let's try the second time. And second match comes around, he does the same thing. So that's whenever I start doing all the calculating. That's whenever I'm like, I had a fair shot that time. He still overpowered me. He still outclimbed me. I got to do a different game plan. I usually like to come up top. I got pretty long arms. I like to try to come up top with people, take away their hook power. My back pressure, I think, helps. It defends a lot of, it's like the best defense is the best offense. And if you can prevent somebody from even engaging their power, that's where I like to be. And Derek, I had to kind of grab low after I started feeling his power drain. I had to grab kind of not like dump my wrist, but just not climb with him. Just as he climbed, just kind of hook and stay as tight as I could. Almost not grab low, but just apply elbow pressure down into the pad to make sure my elbow didn't lift. It was like a lat drag hook until I could.
Then you transition your shoulder.
And then until I could get into the press, until I could get my frame in behind it.
I noticed you initiated with like kind of a top roll posting, and then you slowed him down a little bit, and then you were transitioning your shoulder behind it to get tight. Yeah,
because the first couple of matches when he even brought me back across, I was able to almost get him to my side of the pad. And I thought if I could get him there, then hook in and drag again, this could be another story than me just keep trying to climb, because if I do, he's gonna overget my hand. So if I could back it up, hurry up, catch, drag back again.
Right.
Now I got him tighter. I've taken away the height. It's like
so you start by attacking the height, and then once you slow him down enough, then you transition. Because if you were to go straight in, then potentially he could just top roll you right to the pad, right?
If I would have went straight in, I wouldn't have had my frame in behind.
So you had to slow him down first and then transition.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There you go. Because starting here to there is one thing. Starting here to there is another thing. It's just you're a lot tighter. You got more supination. You're more wrist to wrist. It's like you're blade to blade. It's you're there instead of just like, I don't know. A press is odd to me. It really is. It has to come natural in a match. And I just don't like getting into a hanging war where I'm just hanging. My bicep wears out.
Yeah.
You start to open up. And when you stay tighter and kind of get your frame in behind it, you really don't use too much energy.
Was that the biggest opponent you've ever had? I'm guessing, yeah, right?
Physically, him or Blake Perry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with Blake Perry. How tall is Blake Perry?
Blake Perry's probably 6'6", 450.
Okay. And what's the weight on Derek? Do you know what he weighed in that day yet?
I don't know exactly. They said I don't know if they were messing around. They said 6'9", 400, but I want to say Derek weighed like 380, 390. I think he weighed like 390 something.
Wow. That's a big
boy.
Boy.
Dude, Derek is intimidating, bro. That is a big
massive dude.
I mean, I showed everybody the video when I do a lot of security work, and I'm showing a lot of the regulars I do security with. I'm showing them the video when me and Derek walk past each other. It's like my head's at Derek's chin.
It's a large human right there.
Everyone's like, "You're big," and he just made you look small. I'm like, "Yep, that's exactly."
Levels to it, yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Well, I know Ravaz and all them boys are his size too. When he went up against Ravaz and all them, they're all big.
Man, all them, dude. All those guys are big, dude. Kardashian is a humongous human being. Vitaly, all of them are just tall and long, man. It's leverage, dude. It's leverage.
So do you think that's the future of the super heavyweight class? Because you being someone who's maybe not that size, how do you compare with guys like this, would you say?
I mean, you just have to be strong in a different area. You know, if you have a real strong hand and wrist, I mean, look at Cyplenkov. He's not really tall. He just has a super strong hand and wrist.
Great point.
And then a strong bicep. So and Brzezinski, I don't think you have to have long levers to be a world champ. I think you just have to know how to be the smartest arm wrestler with what you got. Everybody's dealt a different set of cards, and we can all win this game of poker, you know, with good genetics and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, you got to play the best cards you're dealt with, and if you're a 6'2" dude with a halfway decent long reach, you're just not going to be able to top roll everybody. But honestly, yeah, I do think the heavyweight division will start to become just tall, long. I mean,
mass monsters.
I'm telling you right now, like, I think if NBA players got bored or NFL like offensive tackles got bored and started pursuing arm wrestling, I think it would just really go into another level.
The strong men too, like
Yeah.
Brian Shaw.
Oh, Brian Shaw, yeah. All them just long and strong.
Huge,
That's
huge
what-
hands.
That's what we were talking with Devin on my channel, and Devin was saying that, you know, the strongman is the one, and I think he's got a couple monsters under his wing. He's not letting it out to the public yet, but he said that I think he's kind of grooming a couple of them. So Lavon's better be on alert, bro. He might not be the biggest dude for long.
I saw some footage of Half Thor doing some arm wrestling like a couple weeks ago as well. That guy would be scary on an arm wrestling table.
Him and Shaw both, man. Just the frames they
They
got.
should have a match someday. That would be epic. Imagine.
Like Lavon and Zur lift insane weight, but Brian Shaw and them make them look like little kids with the weight they're pushing up. It's insane.
Yeah, they just need that tendon strength.
Yep.
Pradeep, do you have any questions for Austin
Yeah.
for that match?
Austin, I wanted to ask a similar question, which I think Tom has already asked. In the first round, in the beginning rounds, you were going away and Derek was trying to catch you. So usually I've seen that the guy who is trying to contain and is successfully able to contain someone even without the straps, he is usually the one who is stronger inside. But at what point of time did you notice that you can beat him in a hook or in a press as well? And when the matches went in a hook, like, who was the one deciding that? Were you forcing that hook or was Derek going there?
I was forcing that hook 100%. Derek was doing everything to go backwards. Like I was telling, what's his name again? Not Paul, the other guy. Like, I would go back and then I would hook. And
Tom.
that was Tom, yeah. And like, it was just, I really didn't, like I said, I didn't know to go into a hook until after I got my butt beat the first couple of times, and then I had to start.
And you have to adapt,
Yeah, you do. And so honestly, I didn't know if my hook was going to be strong enough. And I had been really working on my hook. I've been working on static holds. And everybody talked about how awkward and bad that positioning was I was in. But that's kind of how I do my statics. You know, I kind of get my statics. I put my delt behind my elbow, and then I'll lean my delt in front of my elbow. And then
with dumbbells, or what are you doing statics?
Dumbbells, and with plates and like a karate belt.
Okay. I've seen you like pulling a truck before as well. How often you do that? That's just for entertainment or what?
Yeah, that's more for entertainment, man. Like, yeah. What'd you say?
I said it's when there's not enough weight in the gym for you, you start using it.
Yeah, no kidding. No, but I like using karate belt running over my knuckles to work on that. But at the same time, I'll just run it to where I'm hanging on with something into my hand and wrist to where I'm hooking it too. But back to what I was saying, it's just I forced the hook with Derek. Derek did not want to get into a hook. And when we did get into a hook, I could just feel him kind of fatigued. He had a lot of power, but if I just kind of stayed in there and really just grit my teeth and stay tight, knuckles to my nose, elbow tight, and I was actually able to hold it in my press. Like you said, when I decided to press, it wasn't that I wanted to press. It's just what felt right. I didn't want to be hanging with them. I didn't want us to both get in like King's moves or something. And another thing, I felt like if I stretched out, he would have continued to keep stretching me out.
It's like sometimes you have a plan A, but you have to go with the plan B once you realize, plan A is not working. Let me adjust.
Exactly. And that's what
Would you attempt the hook earlier, or were you happy with when you chose to do it?
No, I would have chose straps. I wish I would have slipped first round.
Okay.
Instead of trying to hang on to him and go up top, I should have slipped first round, went straight to the straps.
Austin,
I think the straps
gotta-
always help. Go ahead.
Sorry, brother, to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But I have a couple of questions in here that everybody wants to know. First off,
Okay.
how many years have you been pulling for?
6.
6 years. And what was your training looking like for Derek Smith?
My training was a lot of strength, shoulder strength. I did a lot of shoulder presses because I had been working on the press. So just a tight movement. It's not even the same movement. I don't know. It's just staying tight and being able to explode that little jab
So
motion.
do
I
you
did
do a lot of compound lifts, like bench press, like dumbbell
Yeah.
press? You're talking about shoulder dumbbell presses?
Yeah,
Or-
no, I use
Or
the
barbell.
machine. I use the machine. You put plates on it, and I would follow it up to 5 plates on each side.
Nice.
So it was like 100 or no, 180 pounds. 4 plates or 5 plates. I can't remember. It was like 425 or something. And I'll do it on Smith machine too. I'll only go to about 315 over my head.
Okay, so you do a lot more shoulder training than like chest, would you say?
No, for Derek, I do a lot of shoulders. I do a lot of shoulders and chest. I'll do
Hold on,
chest
guys.
all night.
I'm having a little problem with Austin's audio. Is it just me or
No, I hear that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin, I think your audio is going a little crazy right now. It's kind of hard
Okay.
to hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
It's,
I think that microphone is touching your, rubbing on your shirt. I think that's why there's some noise.
Okay. Is that better?
Austin, I wanted to ask you one thing. If I remember correctly, there was a moment where Bart was the main ref and Paul was the down ref, and I think you moved early in a ref's grip or curled in, and Bart was like okay, and then Paulin was like no, it's a foul. So I've never seen this thing. Can a down ref give an athlete foul for movement in referee's grip? Is it possible?
You know what? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. It's something that, you might have a good point. I don't know. You all probably know way more about arm wrestling than me.
I don't know about that.
It was weird. Like I've never seen like a down ref giving a foul for movement in referee's grip. I have not seen that.
I don't know. I didn't remember that. Now I almost hit myself on the butt at the end because I already had a foul.
Austin, we got to do something with that audio, bro. It's like really bad. Yeah.
I think you need to disconnect the earphones maybe if it can work out.
Let's try something.
And there is a Austin in the chat as well. People are asking like how is Austin typing if he's on live here.
Oh, because that's probably Lincoln. Lincoln runs Austin's channel and everything. So, what's up, Lincoln? Is that you, brother?
All right, is that any better, guys?
No.
Nope. No, it's not better.
Somebody said, poor Derek, he pulled a robot. He pulled a cyborg. Somebody said, with the
Maybe we
audio.
should get rid of the earpiece. Maybe
That's what I'm
if
gonna do.
we
I'm
got
gonna
rid
try
of
that real
that.
quick.
Yeah, that sounds better when it's far away from you. It's a little.
Oh,
better.
does it?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds perfect right there.
Yeah, try it again. Yeah.
Okay, does that sound better now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
Oh, there we go. Then let's just do that. Then.
sure.
Not bad, guys.
No problem. So let's move on to the next match now. How many matches were in between your right hand and your left hand?
I want to say just Evan Burgoyne. Evan pulled. I can't remember. Evan pulled a guy between our match, and then we went right again. We went left-handed. So it was maybe 15. It was maybe 15 to 20 minutes, if not a little more, maybe close to half an hour.
Were you still tired from the first match, or you were pretty much recovered?
Man, I tell you what, I was so amped about it, I couldn't even be tired. Like I was so pumped about it. I still had so much adrenaline going. I was ready to whip some ass stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? If you can just keep it a little distance from you, because I think every time you get close, I think it's better far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I was so amped from the first match, from winning that right, pulling it out, I had so much adrenaline going, man. I was ready to go left. I was ready to start stomping left.
Did you pull the tournament as well?
No.
No.
I gotta
You said you're
I
pulling
would-
August Dulskis at Arm Wars? Is that
Yes, Arm Wars. Yeah, the 25th and 26th.
Have
I
you
don't
looked-
know if. Go
have
ahead.
you looked into his style? Like, do you know what to expect? What is your
He's
game
a
plan?
hooker, man. He's a hooker. He likes to hook.
You're gonna try and pierce the wrist?
When he pulled Sanders, he seemed really one-dimensional. He seemed like he just kept going for the hook, and he didn't seem to try to change anything once Sanders started picking his wrist.
Mm.
It wasn't like he tried to climb up top or go for a press. He just continued to look like he wanted to go for a hook. So I don't know if he shot for that because Sanders is a top roller.
Austin, let's just get rid of that earpiece, bro, because it's kind of annoying. It's driving us nuts right here because we wanted to hear everything you're saying, but it's like you're talking to a robot right now.
And Tom, what do you really mean by like what to expect from Mindogas? That match has probably already happened for all we know.
There you go,
Oh,
Pradeep,
man.
stirring up the drama. Pradeep. Oh, shit.
Well, we'll find out real quick if Neil's in the
I had
room
to
right
say
now.
it. That was a good one. That was a good one.
All right, how you kind of all hear me now?
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
Austin,
way better.
Oh yeah.
did you
Wow.
already on them and they're delaying it, or what's the deal?
What is it?
That was just a joke with Neil and the delayed arm wrestling match.
So another thing that I wanted to bring up was, with the top 10 rankings in North America. And we know that you're up there now. You're at number 8. But we know in the top 5, they haven't really pulled in a long time. It's been, years or whatever. So I want to know, do you feel like you are higher up in the top 10 than you are right now? Do you think you can knock off some of the guys in front of you? And then the other question that I had to follow up is, we know that Tim Bresnan is right in front of you. And, we all kind of, I think, are in agreement. We'd like to see that match be rerun again with, different referees. Because, I honestly, when I watched it, I felt like he got robbed that day. Now, if anybody else in here thinks I'm wrong, just stop me right there. What do you
you're
guys
100%
think?
correct.
It was some questionable reffing, in my opinion.
Pradeep, what was your thoughts on that?
I was reading the chat. What was the question?
So the question was on the Tim Bresnan versus Austin Jaggers match before. Do we think that that Austin might have got robbed on that because of the refereeing?
I think it was the first round, and Tim shouted at the referee, and referee got scared. Like that's literally what it was.
He was manipulated from round 1, and it was an uphill battle at that point.
Because I've seen the referee go like this foul on he almost gave a foul, and then Tim started shouting at him, and he brought his hand back and foul on Austin. That's literally what was happening there.
Crazy.
Austin, what's your thoughts on that? I know you're friends with Tim and all, and you're not trying to like stir things up, but
It doesn't matter, man. Tim. I was even giving Tim a hard time whenever Tim reffed a couple of the matches at the Derek match with me, and when Tim had his referee shirt on, I said, "What are you gonna yell at yourself?" I said, "What are you gonna point at yourself and be like, and he was like, good one, you motherfucker." No, but I like Tim, but I'm gonna be honest with you. After seeing what Derek did to him, and after what I did with Derek, I don't even want to waste any more energy on Tim.
Hey, that's what I like to hear. You got bigger
I don't
things.
even want to waste any more energy on the dude. He got a win. Great for him. Cool. I just beat somebody that beat him, so I'm just not even worried about it. I just want to go after the people that are ahead of me.
Do you want to go against like Corey West? Now, a lot of people are saying that Derek Smith versus Corey West would be a good match, but now it's seeming like, you beat Derek, so
Man, Corey's a strong dude, man.
Yeah, I pulled him once. Ridiculous.
He's a strong dude, man. I would. I'd like to see it this year later on.
Okay.
Or something. I don't want to do it. I want some time to train. I don't want to be like have a tournament even like a month before. I want a couple months of training so I can be ready for that freaking gorilla.
Yeah.
So for sure. That's somebody that I definitely want. I'd like to pull Corey right, or I'd like to pull maybe Chafee right, just to film. I've never even tried. I've never even locked up with Chafee, dude. I would just like to lock up with the dude, just to feel his horsepower. And I don't think I'd have anything for him, but it would still be an idea of where I'm at.
Have you pulled Todd Hutchings ever?
Yeah, fresh. I can get Todd's wrist, but man, like I'm telling you, like maybe
2 out of 3, I might be able to get him, but 3 out of 5, I think he'd come back and start hooking me.
His endurance is really good.
Yeah.
Here's a question
but-
for you. I know this guy's behind you. I think he's right behind you, and it's Chance Shaw. How do you think you and Chance would end up?
Chance would be a great match. I mean, I wouldn't mind pulling Chance at all. It's something that Lincoln and Chance have talked about before, I believe. I wouldn't mind pulling Chance at all. It would have to be right-handed. Chance's left felt like a baby's.
Yeah, I remember I was there that day. Remember in West Virginia.
No, I'm teasing. Chance got a pretty strong left. My left's just pretty strong.
Where's Derek ranked at? Because technically,
Derek is ranked number 10 now.
Okay.
He's the gatekeeper at the moment.
So which rankings are this? Because there must be 2 sets of rankings. The rankings I saw was 5th right and 4th left. So was that? I think that was just the United States. I'm trying to think. What is this, North America rankings?
I'm looking at In the Hook rankings. That's what I guess.
Okay,
that's
In the Hook.
Shaw's.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Who all is in front of me on In the Hook rankings?
That's why I asked before. So let me just give you the list real quick. On right hand, we got Devin, 1, 2, Jerry, 3, the toddler, 4, Dave, 5, Toddzilla, 6, Corey, 7, Tim Bresnan. You're at number 8. Chance is at 9, and Derek's at 10. And that's why I said, would we want to run back Tim? Because he's in the spot right in front of you.
No, let's just go ahead. I want to shoot after Corey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather shoot after Corey, man. After like I said, after seeing what Derek did to Tim, I'm telling you now, man, if it wasn't for like I said, I don't want no more energy on it. It doesn't matter. If I pull Tim, I pull Tim again. If that's how it works out, if everybody wants to see it, then that's how it goes. But like I want to focus on bigger and better things.
Are you gonna, if you pull Corey, are you gonna bulk up? Are you gonna like go on a massive bulk, or what's the plan for the training there?
I mean, the heaviest I told myself I will get for anyone is 330. I've been 329 pounds before when I played college football. I'm trying to go to the NFL. So I know I can get that big. I don't enjoy it. I feel miserable. I'm strong, though.
How's your endurance, though, at that weight? That's the only thing I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, me too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, man, there's always give, there's always take, man. And I'd almost just be a well-rounded person. And I think, it just depends, though, how much I'm able to get big and stay lean. Right now, I'm fairly lean at over 300 pounds. Like, I'm not a big fat dude right now. I can almost see like my stomach muscles a little bit. I can still see like a striation in my chest. When I get, pump half the time, I can see the vein running up my bicep. So I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm a fat blob or nothing. So I feel like, my blood pressure's fine. It's not like it's crazy or anything. So I don't think an extra 15, 20 pounds on me would do too much, but I wouldn't change my training. I would just change my eating. Like, I don't think people understand that. I think what people make a mistake on is they change their training so much for like powerlifting for arm wrestling or something. Like, I don't know, small rep or low reps, high weight. And I kind of do like a pyramid scheme. I kind of start at low weight, doing it for 10, and then 8, 5, 4, then go back down. Yeah. And then at practice, I do a lot of conditioning.
So you're doing weekly table time? Is that your go-to once a week?
Yeah, I pull twice a week usually.
Twice a week. Twice a week.
Yeah, I usually pull Tuesdays and Saturdays. I was pulling Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Thursdays. But that started getting too much on me when I was trying to bench press a lot. Like, when I started getting my bench over, when I was doing 405 for reps, my elbow just did not feel good.
Now, are there a lot of guys who give you a lot of good work in practice? Because oftentimes if you're the stronger person in practice, like just way stronger than everybody, then you're not as fatigued, so you can go heavier on your bench and on your gym training because you don't have to recover as much from the table training.
I kind of base my lifting on how the practice goes prior to. So it's like I read my body well. I'm not going to force myself to do something if I had pulling last night was kind of dumb. It was one of the dumbest things I probably have done. Should have taken off. But like if I have a hard practice on a Saturday, I'm not going to go probably past 365 on bench. I just do 315 for like 3 sets of 10.
Okay.
Or something.
Some volume.
Yeah, but if I don't practice that Saturday because everybody's at a tournament or it's a small tournament and I don't really have a practice, or I pull a couple of my buddies that aren't very strong, I'm going, I'm going past 400 pounds on bench because I got it in me.
Yeah.
But it's like us. Go ahead.
Austin, I got to ask you, what do you consider your stronger arm? Is it the right or left? Because I know your left is deadly.
My left is strong. I'd say my left bicep is stronger, but my right hand and wrist is stronger. It's weird. It's like I'm ambidextrous, but I'm more right hand dominant. I'd say I'm more coordinated with my right. So like my right hand is just naturally stronger. And it's weird because when you lock up with somebody that's naturally left-handed, I can tell immediately. Their hand and wrist just, I might be able to overpower them when I really try, but naturally just gripping up their hand and wrist feels stronger than mine. Just in the small movements. But when it comes to, I would say my right arm or my left arm is stronger, but my right hand and wrist, honestly, they're getting so close. I couldn't tell you.
The other
It
thing
used to be my left. My right is actually catching up to my left.
The other thing I wanted to know is, we threw that big match in Tulsa against you and Lachlan Adair, and Lachlan got the win that day. Would you want to rerun that again? And what do you think? Would that outcome changed? Have you leveled up since then?
Yeah, I've definitely worked on my hook since Lachlan. I would have to say Lachlan is the reason why my hook is where it's at today. I have to thank Lachlan for that ass whipping because it showed me where I needed to work on. It showed me a weakness. It showed me that I was really one-dimensional at that time. I was top row dimensional. I was boom, boom. And, Lachlan showed me that there's some people's hands out there strong enough to contain it. And when you're not able to get into a fair match, even in not your A game, which at that time I thought that was, but my hook's finally coming around a little bit. So, I'd have to thank Lachlan for getting my hook where it's at today. And I'd have to say me and Lachlan would be a lot closer match. And at that time, what was I weighing? 270, 280?
Yeah, I think you were somewhere around there. I think it was 270 something.
See, I've put on 25, 30 pounds since then too. So there's a bigger weight gap now. And I've just really busted my butt. I was busting my butt before Lachlan, but Lachlan really showed me where I needed to work. So I just used in practice before Lachlan, I wouldn't even get the hook with a lot of people. I just back pressure with them. And then after Lachlan, I was like really getting in bangers with people going until like I couldn't stand it. I was like, my arm's burning against this, somebody that's not near strong.
Working on your weak point until it's your strong point, huh? Yeah. So you bring everything up till you're well rounded. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key. Is just I think in order to be a good arm wrestler, you got to be strong. Got to have in the heavyweights. You got to be strong in any weight, but big, strong, and very versatile. You can't be you can't be one-dimensional, even two-dimensional, man. It's like you better have a press, you better have a hook, you better have a top row. Or at least be a high hooker or a straight supinating presser. You got to have at least two dominating areas to go. I'd say at least two.
Okay. Now, the other thing is we've seen a video that you put out going against a toddler, and, you pressed through him a couple of times. Can you kind of give us a context of that day? And do you think if he was, obviously he's not going to be pulling for a while, he just popped his bicep, but when he does come back healthy, do you see that being a good match for you, a good style? Like, would you have the advantage against him?
You talking left or right?
Right hand. What was that video? Was it right or left?
It was right. It's what I hurt his bicep. Right, I tweaked his bicep right-handed, and left is where I pressed him.
It's because you're too strong.
I hurt him right that day, and then that right is what kind of he was supposed to have his match with. Was it Hermes or Gennady? Or he was supposed to have the match and ended up putting Devin Laird instead.
Oh yeah. Fuck, what was that?
I was the one that hurt Michael did it.
Well, they shaved away his bone. He may not have that bone lock anymore.
He has a lock in it, but left is where I was able to go through. He tried to press me left, and he did get me a couple times. And it just once I started to kind of feel his press, I could kind of start to back
pressure and peel out of his hand before he gets his shoulder. Yeah.
Mike's going to be interesting. He had his bone shaved, so without that lock, he's going to be forced to go back to the traditional arm wrestling, most likely. But from what I saw, they shaved the bone away where he had that lock.
Hopefully, he had that bicep reattached a lot lower.
Right. He might be a
Yeah,
completely different arm
I don't know. He felt very strong right-handed. His wrist and hand didn't feel. It was like if you watch the video, he immediately gives his hand and wrist up to go into that area where he likes to kind of like give his wrist up and then roll it. It's weird. And then as soon as he kind of went to back out, I just used my pinky and ring finger and kind of contained it, just really squeezed down, and that's where he kind of hopped up and grabbed his arm.
Yeah, that puts a lot of pressure on your bicep, especially when your wrist is back and you're separated
and
like
then
that.
he
So
started to twist it, and that's when he felt that weird pop.
yeah.
Hey guys, I want to change direction now because there's a couple of topics that I want to bring up. You know, this is kind of community topics and all. So the big topic of the week that I see is the live stream commentary. You know, Engen just put a post out there, and he was asking all the guys that were doing live stream commentary. They weren't actually showing the video of the match, but you know, they were commenting and kind of giving like their own commentary and all. What do you guys all think of that? I kind of want to get everybody's perspective of that. Let's start off with Pradeep, because we haven't heard much from you today, brother.
I think what Engin is expecting out of this, the reality may be completely opposite. I think for now, Engin is thinking that the guys who will not do live stream commentaries when Engin requests them are going to be the one who are on his side, and they are the one who do not want to ruin relationships for small profits. But I would say if we decide not to do live commentaries, which I'm thinking about not doing live commentary after Engin says so, I think it is more of a profit, because a relationship with Engin, a good relationship with Engin is way more profitable. I'm telling you guys, East versus West 6, I think it was, live commentary, and I made what, $200, maybe a little bit more than that, while I was sitting live for almost 9 hours, 8 hours, 40 minutes. So there is no profit in that. Yeah, maybe I gained like 500 subscribers, which is a good thing. There is no profit in that. The only profit is gaining subscribers. And I think I will go to choose the other route where I'm supporting Engin and I'm not doing live stream, I think that is more of a profit move from my side than choosing not to do. So I respect anyone who will try to not save his relationship with Engin and trying to do live stream commentaries. I would respect that guy. I may probably not be that guy, but I'm going to respect that guy, because I know from stats, I know that he is choosing the less financially valuable option when he's going to do those live stream commentaries. That's what I think about it.
What's your thoughts on the whole situation?
It's an interesting topic. Sweden Arm Wrestling Television made a video on that. I made a comment on that post, and to me, it doesn't seem like it violates fair use at all. I mean, if you're not showing the video and you're not showing the audio and you're just talking about the results, I mean, it's not copyright infringing as far as I'm concerned. But as Pradeep said, it could potentially, harm your relationship with Engin, which, I mean, it's just like, in my opinion, I don't think it hinders the East versus West promotion, because it's, at the end of the day, the sport is growing. So the more people talking about it, it's going to grow the sport in general. So I haven't done any live streams personally. Now I've seen guys like Uncle John and Aussie Arm Wrestler. They've done live streams. They've done one actually on Austin and Derek's match. Now that isn't East versus West, but I think live streams could be a good thing. But yeah, I'm not really too sure. What do you think, Josh?
Josh, what's your thoughts?
For me personally, I've never done live streams, because when I watch an arm wrestling match, I'm watching the arm wrestling match. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm nervous because I'm so into it. But personally, I mean, relationships are everything in this sport. Growing this community is going to be with relationships between everyone. And Engin, I mean, besides Devin and Larry, he's probably the biggest name of this sport right now. And I mean, I understand if people do live stream, but I'm going to support Engin 100% when it comes to that. Like me personally, I never went live anyways. But, I'm going to support Engin and his wishes as far as, because he's taking this sport to another level we've never seen. And that's a fact. There's no way around that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when the WAO kind of died with the whole like COVID era, like East versus West has absolutely taken off.
Well, WAO, you go ahead.
Austin, I want to get your thoughts on the whole live commentary.
I respect Engin a lot, man. Like everyone else is saying, he's really trying to make the sport grow. It's kind of like what you're trying to do. Engin's just he's in a different area with it. He's just, y'all both trying to make the sport grow. I wouldn't really want to get on Engin's bad side.
But I'm not a live commentary kind of dude. I don't do it. It's nothing I really got to worry about. So I do enjoy, hearing commentating and stuff. But let me tell you something. I don't ever just sit and listen to somebody talk about a match. I'll kind of listen to it for a second, but I'm gonna hurry up and look it up as soon as it's available, and I'm gonna watch it over and over and over again because I don't think it stops the views. I'm not even the guy that goes out and buys the matches. I shouldn't say that, but I'll go over to my buddy's house and watch the match, or go over to Lincoln's and watch the match, or something, or with a couple of buddies, like the Super Bowl or something, or like a UFC fight. Not every single person buys a UFC fight. One person buys the fight, a bunch of people go over to the house, they have a party. And they don't do live commentating on UFC fights. You can't get on the radio and hear, you pay pay-per-view, you pay money to so you can see it and get the results live. And you want to see it, and you want to hear it, you want to visualize it, or not visualize it, but and I don't know if live commentating really affects that much. But like I said, I don't want to be on Ingen's bad side. So, whatever Ingen says goes, and I'm not really into live comment. I mean, I don't do it. So I wouldn't be. It's not just, it's not threatening me in any way, shape, or form. So,
Okay, I got some strong feelings on this. Me being a promoter and organizer myself, I agree totally with Engen. I believe that what's happening is a lot of these guys, instead of buying the pay-per-view, they're just going listening to it on the live commentary. And when you're laying out $250,000 for an event, you want to get everybody you can to buy this. So now the guys that can't afford it, that's fine. They could wait 2-3 days and Engen puts it out right away. And now they could go check it out on YouTube for free. But, I believe with the live commentary, it is taking a big chunk out of the normal people that would just buy it if they weren't able to hear it.
I can definitely understand that from a promoter's point of view. I just want to highlight someone's comment in the comment section. Someone said, I don't think people who are trying to watch the pay-per-view free were ever going to buy the match in the first place, which could potentially be a good point that people who don't even know about arm wrestling would find out about it, maybe due to a live stream or something like that. And they weren't going to buy it either way, but now they're interested, and now maybe they might buy the next one. So, I mean, I don't think it's entirely fair to say that it's going to be harmful to the event. Me, again, I haven't done it personally, but I don't have an issue with it.
I just got to say, guys, if you put up $250,000 for an event, would you want to even take that? Now the best experiment that we could do right now, I believe the Swedish arm wrestler guy with his channel, he said it. He said, why doesn't Engen now compare the results and see if it makes a change from the last East versus West? He allowed the live commentary. Now for this new one coming up, let's see if there's a big jump. If there is, then Engen's correct. If there is no jump, then I say that we go back to the live commentary. But I feel like we need to do this experiment right now.
A jump in sales, or what statistics specifically are you referring to? Sales?
Yeah, but
That's
Isn't that going to be trending upwards regardless? So, because there's a lot of variables when it comes to that.
That's what I was about to say. And if you compare this, you have to compare with this with only the pay-per-views where Devil is competing, because Devil versus Gennady, the sales are going to go up anyways.
There's
so
a lot of variables.
We cannot put that on
50,000 pay-per-views just from his name alone.
Yeah.
But
not that much. And Paul, the most common comment that I'm getting, and Slow Misery is commenting here as well. I was listening to Pradeep while watching the pay-per-view, and the countless comments are that I got, that we would like to hear Ozzy's commentary, Pradeep's commentary, Bowen's commentary. We do not want to hear what Coach Ray and Derek Smith are saying. Like that's boring to many people.
What about Travis Bajan, man? Travis was the last guy.
Travis did great. I love how Travis did it.
Travis is coming out Michael Todd.
Hilarious.
Crybaby.
Calm down, young man.
Yeah.
I like Travis so much, man.
I think Paul, I think it's a thing where if, let's say, I stop doing it, Ryan Bowen stop doing it, then there are going to be new YouTubers who will do that, who are in the initial beginning stages and who do not really care about a relationship with Engen. There is nothing stopping them. So I think, yes, Engen did say that it is a polite request, but in that polite request, if a promoter is asking, I think there is always that underlying threat of that relationship break in that matter. Otherwise, like a polite request wouldn't mean much in that case. And you're mentioning $250,000. So just to be clear, for till now, I don't think there has been an arm wrestling event where $250,000 have been put into place. Maybe East versus West 7 is going to be the first one.
Well, that I heard, I think it was 210 or something like that. We heard that number, but I know the last one before that was 175,000. And we know when Devin's involved, it's obviously going to be higher, you know. So I'm putting in the range between 200 and 250,000.
And the money thing, why I mentioned it, because I've noticed one thing out of all the posts that Engin has made, like he never forgets to mention the financial gain part for the YouTubers. And I just rechecked my East versus West 6 live commentary. It was like $89 for 9 hours of constantly sitting on a table without a break.
Yeah, so $10 an hour is not worth it for you. I understand that. How many subscribers did you gain on that last one? Just out of curiosity.
I think maybe somewhere around it is showing like 240 something, but I think it was more than that. It could have been like 300, 400 subscribers in my opinion. And the King of the Table live commentary that I did, that video has like 145,000 views and 10,000 watch hours. So what I do believe the promoters are neglecting is that this is kind of a free promotion for the next event. Like just imagine 5 hours of commentary and constantly speaking about one product only, King of the Table. 5 hours speaking about one thing. Out of those 144,000, for sure there are at least 100,000 people who have never bought a pay-per-view. Like it is just statistics. There cannot be more than 44,000 people in that live chat who have ever bought a pay-per-view. So what chances after watching that live stream, out of those 145,000 people, what are the chances that many more are going to buy the next event? Like promoters,
but if they can't hear it anywhere else, you know, that could be the factor where it could make them go and splurge the money, you know, and that's where I think Engin's going for.
They would have to do it more than one time in a row, though, to see. They would have to do it. They'd have to do it for at least 2 or 3 to see if it leads to more buying the next time.
Yeah.
And then more buying. They'd have to do it at least 2 or 3 in a row, because if you just do it one time, nobody's not going to know. And then it's going to be too late to buy the pay-per-view. So it's like they got to do 2 or 3 times in a row.
But I think that if I'm not doing it, Ryan is not doing it, there is probably going to be a third YouTuber. He may be a new YouTuber with only 1,000 subscribers. But when his video gets put into the algorithm, because YouTube is going to see that guy only has 1,000 subscribers and his live stream is being watched by like 3,000, 2,000 people. So that video is going to get put into the mainstream, and then those views are just going to go to him. I think it is absolutely impossible to stop live commentaries.
Now he's on Engin's hit list, and we know that Engin is not one to back down, and Engin's got his team of guys out there searching the web. You know, that is the one thing I got to say. Engin is the first guy that is actually putting a halt to this. You know, because when I was throwing my events, it was the same thing. You know, I'd want to get a nice edited version. I'd pay for a great videographer and all. And before I could even get it out there, it's already everywhere, you know, and that was kind of frustrating.
There is only one solution, and there is only one solution to this thing. And I've already discussed with Engin on this. I think I can talk about it. I'm allowed to talk about it here. And we almost went with that plan in the previous East versus West event. And the plan was to do live commentary on the East versus West channel. Then it is going to be kind of official, and the other channels are not going to get the views. And in that channel, what will be the difference? Let's say I'm the host, and let's say SG Records, Roman is there. So what we are going to do is SG Records is going to go to almost all the elite level arm wrestlers, and I'll be sitting here asking questions on East versus West channel. And then John Brzezinski is going to say that please purchase the pay-per-view as it's only 1 hour remaining. And other arm wrestlers, Devin is sitting in the arena, and he's going to say that purchase the pay-per-view. So we kind of will be taking the feedback and the questions towards all of the athletes. And when they ask you to buy that if Devin says, I'm going to compete in a couple of hours, purchase the pay-per-view. And I think that live stream is going to like overshadow all of the other live streams, and it will be much more beneficial.
They would get 99% of the viewership for live commentary. I think that would be genius for England to do that on the East versus West channel.
Yeah, I would say that that's the only, if Engin can because there is no way to stop them.
Yeah,
There is
instead
no
of
way to
trying to
stop
stop
him.
everyone, the whole entire arm wrestling community, which there's more and more people every day. So I mean,
Dana White's
that
been
sounds like a
trying to
smart
stop
option if
him
he.
in the ring for his whole entire career, and he can't. It's impossible.
Yeah. And people have asked this question in previously as well, that if they can just include a live chat option in the core sports stream, then it will be awesome as well. But for now, it doesn't.
I think
seem to be
Engin said he's going to include that. I saw some comment on that. I think he said
Yeah.
Core Sports might include that in the future, a commentary section.
Uh-oh.
Guys, I want to change topics now because I want to keep things moving and everything. The next topic I want to bring up is the big match coming up in the next East versus West, and that's Devin Lorette versus Gennady. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. We're going to start today off with Austin.
I'm gonna have to say if Devin even loses once, it'll be the first round. Then after that, I'm pretty sure he's gonna start catching Gennady and bringing him back through. Gennady is strong. Gennady is very strong, but I think Devin is just. I think his table IQ is higher. I think he has more stamina, and if not as strong as Gennady. Gennady might be able to hit him to the pad the first time or get him close. But I think once Devin gets to that point and then he can start getting up on the table, tightening up, I just think Devin's going to win. I really do.
Pradeep, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it is definitely possible for Gennady to take some rounds. I would still have Devin as the favorite in this one. But what Prudnik was lacking, Gennady has that option. When Prudnik's wrist was taken, we have never seen Prudnik in this flop press position. But we have seen Gennady do that multiple times. So Gennady, maybe even in the Farid match, Farid Osmanli versus Gennady in the previous event, Farid was kind of doing this open arm top roll. He was not able to take Gennady's wrist. We saw that if Gennady went for the pin, his wrist was slightly going back. So he stayed there. But I think if Farid, which I believe Devin is going to be way stronger than Farid in this position, let's say his wrist goes there, then I think still he has the option to press, because Prudnik was able to take Devin to the defensive side. Yes, that was not completely trained Devin, but it wouldn't be like a crazy thought if people say, like if we say Gennady must be able to take Devin to the defensive side. Nobody should doubt that. We have seen that happen to Devin multiple times. It almost always happens against a stronger opponent. So I think the match goes there, and Devin's stopping power in this open arm top roll it has never been that great against someone if they can try a flop press. And I think Gennady has that flop press, but can he do that 3 times? That's the big question. So I think it is going to be a close match, like a 3-2, 3-1. I would still go with Devin.
Josh, what's your thoughts on the whole match?
My opinion, best case scenario for Gennady is he loses 3-1. The only way Gennady's going to get a pin on Devin is he has to be as quicker than Prudnik to get that flash pin, which he's not. I think Devin's going to, Gennady's going to be a challenge, but Devin's just, in my opinion, he's going to crush him. Best case scenario for Gennady is he loses 3-1.
Tom, your thoughts?
I got it 3-0 or 3-1 to Devin. Too strong. He's going to take Gennady's wrist. Now, Gennady may have a flop, but I think Devin will be able to either stay in the hand or transition a little bit inside and finish. So 3-0 or 3-1 to Devin.
All right, I want to introduce guys. We got a new guy in the chat room right now. And we got Matt Craig in the house, who also does the logistics for Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions. And Matt's got a big match that we're going to be talking about in a little while. But first off, Matt, I want to get your thoughts on Gennady versus Devin Lorette.
Well, I want to talk about the flop press he just mentioned a second ago. Devin's arm's too long to flop press. It's like trying to flop press Travis. It's just not going to happen. Devin's going to be up here. He's going to be tight, and he's going to take him right over. If Devin takes Gennady's hand, that's the way it's going to go. I don't say many things in arm wrestling are inevitable, but that's pretty inevitable. That's how that would go down.
I'm kind of going to agree with the whole.
I want to tell you one thing. The referees have this in mind. Like, they're not going to make the same mistake that they did against in the Prudnik match, where Devin was able to be in this declined humerus position for about 7-8 seconds before the referees go. This time the referees, I know for a fact the referees are going to be way more strict. And when Gennady hits that flop press, if Devin's shoulder doesn't go below, I think his elbow is for sure going to go off the back of the pad. I think we're going to see a lot of fouls if the shoulder is not allowed to go in a downward position. There are going to be a lot of fouls.
So what do you have the final score being, Pradeep, on it?
I said 3-2, or I think the best situation for like these two topics, these two scores I have in my mind. The best situation for Gennady, I don't see him winning like 3-2 Devon, and the worst situation for Devon is going to be a 3-1 victory. I don't think Devon can win 3-0.
Okay, I'm going to go with the 3-1. I think that Gennady is going to get that first pin, and then I think after that it's going to be downhill, and Devin's going to gas him out and kind of just hold him. And if Gennady's smart, I think if he gets in a bad position, he should just immediately lose. Do not gas himself out like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to keep trying. He's going to keep surging, and after that, it's going to be all
But
down.
Gennady's a guy who says he prides himself on his endurance as well. So, he may think he'll be able to stick up with Devin in terms of the endurance, but we'll see.
I don't think there's too many people that could hang with Devin when it comes to endurance.
That's
Devin's
perspective
genius
for sure.
Devin can get you in a position where you're gassing more than he's gassing. He gets you in that one type position where you're going to gas faster than he gas. You may not necessarily you may have the same amount of endurance as him, but he knows how to get you into positions where you're going to gas faster. And he's so good at that, just getting coiled up like a snake.
Yeah, just
Next match I want to talk about, guys. I want to move on to the next big match. This is going to go down in July, and that's Hermes Gasparini going against Big Daddy Jerry Caderet. So let's start off with Austin on this one.
it's going to be a good match. Hermes is very strong, and I feel like I like Jerry a lot. He's American. I'm always for Team USA, and I just think Jerry feels very one-dimensional. All he has is the press, and that press has gotten him so far. It really has. I just don't know if it's strong enough to beat Hermes. I don't. I think Hermes is going to be too strong for Jerry. I know Jerry is very strong. He bench presses like 405 narrow grip for like 15 or 20. So I know that movement right there is so freaking strong for Jerry. But Hermes impressed me whenever he pulled Lavon. He just showed me he's a lot stronger, and he can give his wrist up too. It's not like it's both of them can kind of really go into a press. I think Jerry will be able to outpress him, but I think Gennady's going to be too explosive. I think Jerry's going to kind of get out, and get yanked. But I don't know. I'd say Jerry will win twice and Hermes will win 3 times. I think it'd be 3-2, 3-2 Hermes.
Let me just, guys, I found out some interesting info today, and I want to confirm this with Dave Chafee, but what I heard was somebody that was out hanging out with them during East versus West 5 overheard that Dave was sick, and they might have been out to dinner with him the night before. We all know the athletes and everybody go out to dinner, and I heard that Dave didn't touch his meal, and he was heard talking to Justin Bishop, and he was telling him that he wasn't feeling good and that he was sick. So that was just real interesting to me, because we're all judging on Hermes's performance, and one of them was him beating Dave and all, but now that has me thinking, was Dave really at 100%, or was he really sick? And if he's not eating, the night before a big match, I see that as being a red flag. So do you think that could change things up? And are we over putting Hermes at a higher level just because of that, and then also seeing him put the stop on Lavon? Or no, he really is at that top level?
I think Hermes is the real deal. I got him winning 3-0, 3-1 against Jerry personally. I think he's too explosive, and like Austin said, if he'll be able to tire Jerry with this explosive top roll and then potentially transition to a flop, if he even has to. He may not even have to, but we'll see. I got him winning 3-0, 3-1.
Josh, what's your thoughts, bro?
Well, the Dave Chafee thing, even if he was sick against Gennady, you got to assume he was healthy against Lavon, and then just comparing him versus Lavon versus Hermes versus Lavon. I think him being sick is kind of irrelevant at that point. It doesn't take away from Hermes and what he's done. And when it comes to Hermes,
hold on. The reason why I think it does play significance is because how did Dave beat Hermes that day, or give a match? He went into a flop press. and it looked like it gave Hermes a lot of problems. Now we all know who the best presser in the planet is, and that's Jerry. So putting Jerry's press up against Dave's, I don't think we're even in the same world. You know what I mean? So that's just something, that's why I'm throwing that little in there. That could change things up, and we all know that styles make matches, guys.
Okay, there are two huge elements that everyone's missing here. Number one, Hermes was obviously in peak, let's say, nutritional condition against Lavon. Okay, has he had enough time to get back to that peak nutritional condition? Because I've met him in person, he was not that massive. He was in absolutely ridiculous shape. Can he get back to that in time to pull Jerry? I don't know. That's going to take, there's obviously going to be no break there going on. Number two.
Well, he's got till July. He's got 4 months.
We pressed it back. We're not going at the next one in May. It is now July. So both athletes have an extra couple months on there. So, he does have the time to get there.
Yeah, well, and then the refs, okay? Because I was there. I was just a few feet away from the table when Matt Mask pulled Hermes in Tulsa. And obviously, that was WAL, meant for Matt Mask, made for Matt Mask, made for Travis. What's going to happen what are the refs going to do? What are they going to allow? What are they not going to allow? Are they going to be so insanely strict that Hermes can get what he wants, or can Jerry get what they want? Who's going to get the upper hand in the setup? Because Jerry's very good. Jerry's very good in the setup, and Hermes is obviously an arm wrestling genius. Who's going to get the tactical advantage from the beginning? That's going to go a long way in who wins this match. Because Hermes has a much shorter lever than Jerry does. Can Hermes get Jerry to his side of the table and pulled in to where that flop wrist press won't make a difference? I don't know.
I think Hermes is going to not let Jerry get his shoulder into it, and that's what it is. I think he's going to have a plan. I think he's going to keep Jerry from getting his shoulder behind that press. I think it's going to be 3-1 for Hermes.
Pradeep, what's your thoughts? And after what you just heard, what I said about Dave, do you think that plays into this at all?
I want to get back to that Dave JP versus Hermes match topic that you just mentioned. So since you mentioned that Dave was sick, and on top of that, if we add the fact that Dave was kind of resting after his match with Vitaly, and that was a war, as we all saw. Dave was in this flop press position all the time. So after that, I think it was about 3 weeks before the East versus West match when Jerry got injured, and that's when Dave got the call. So he had like 2 and at most 2.5 weeks to train for that match. So that was a fact as well. And considering that you just mentioned he was sick, and he was able to bring Hermes like that much close to the pad in all 3 rounds. It wasn't like it was only in first round and then Hermes beat him. All of the 3 rounds were that close. But even considering all of that, I would still say that was probably Dave's first and last chance to beat Hermes. No matter how well trained, how well prepped he is, he's not going to get any chance in the future to beat him, because considering that Hermes is getting bigger and he's like 29 only, he's going to be 30 later on this year. I don't think there is a possibility for Dave to beat him ever in the future. So that's what it. And the second thing that you mentioned about the flop press, the Jerry being way better than Dave in that position, I think it is a completely different thing that we're talking about. Dave went all top roll. He brought Hermes to almost to the pad, and then he switched to the press. So we do not know if he went straight for the press, what would have happened. We do know that when Hermes tried this against Lavon, he got flash pinned. He has mentioned it multiple times that he was being advised by someone when he was going back, he was able to get the stop here with a broken wrist, and then he switched to a press. But then he tried to go straight to the press, just like Jerry. He got flashed by Lavon. So we do not know if Dave tried the same thing against Hermes, what would have been the result. I do see Hermes winning this match comfortably, I think with a 3-1 score, because if we go back to Dave's previous matches, the Gennady match, and that was peak Jerry. According to Jerry's own words, that was the best Jerry that we have ever seen against Gennady. And Gennady not being a really elite level top roller. He's an elite level arm wrestler, but he's not an elite level top roller. He was able to go outside and beat Jerry a couple of times. And I think Hermes is infinitely better than Gennady in a top roll. And in that position, he always has a follow-up press, which he switches to immediately. And you add another fact on top of that Hermes has, in any weight category, since he's been on the elite level, he has never lost a single round when he has taken his opponent's wrist. And he is going to, like that's a given. He's going to take Jerry's wrist. And that man, I know he's never faced someone like Jerry, but you cannot ignore this fact that he has never lost a round when he has that pronation.
He
So I
just
think
can't overpronate like Georgie did against Jerry, where he's so overpronated, leaning down that he can't get enough shoulder. He's got to commit enough shoulder.
But Georgie, in the Georgie match, like, I don't know how many of you saw that photo. He mentioned that it happened in the first round, and he tore something in his pec, and he was like completely black and blue. He's
Really?
completely black and blue the next day, and
I didn't know
maybe that was the. I was thinking that probably Georgie was too fat that he couldn't stand up and press. Like his own body weight was way too much for him. But maybe that pec tear was the fact that he couldn't stand up and press. Like he just needed to. If he could just stand up, he would have already been the East versus West champion by now. But he couldn't stand up. That's why he didn't win that match.
That's
I
the
know you're going to
thing.
mention
That's the thing.
Because when Jerry is giving you that constant shoulder pressure to transition, you have to be pretty smooth at not giving up any pressure while you're standing up. Otherwise, Jerry is going to the side with your whole arm.
But this is the thing that people don't realize, and I've watched it with Jerry, and anytime he's put the press on people, he's hurt them. And either he pops their bicep, and then just like you said, Gennady did the same thing, which a lot of people don't know, is he hurt his pec. So as soon as he gets on you and you try going side pressure, and that's normally what everybody does, they panic and they start hitting side pressure, they hurt themselves. So that's the big question. And then when you said that Hermes is going to win 3-1, my question is, if Jerry takes one round, bro, I think that's going to turn everything around, because now he's on his bicep.
I think it is going to be a quick surprise win for like really fast because of Jerry's speed and not because of the long endurance rounds.
Okay, well that's what would have to happen. But I think if there is any long round, I think that's going to turn the whole thing around the match. And I got to say, I am, favoritism to Jerry and all. And I also know a lot of what's going on in Jerry's camp. And, like just today, right now, he's training with RVJ. And I'm just going to say this, guys, you're going to see the most motivated and in the best shape you've ever seen Jerry Cataract. And that's the only thing I can guarantee. I'm not going to make a prediction on the match, but I will promise that he will be another level above Gennady.
I'll make a prediction that Jerry's going to win simply because, the bench press you mentioned earlier. The reason Jerry didn't do as well in WAL, I feel like, is because there was that extra 2 inches on the back of the pad. Jerry's length, when he gets out like this and gets into that press, people run out of room on the back of the pad. They can't go back any farther. They can't throw any more back pressure on him. And once again, Hermes is not much taller than me. He has a short forearm. So whatever he gets, he's going to have to get in compact. He's going to have to get Jerry on his side of the table. And he's going to have to get Jerry into his swirl. Once that press gets in, he doesn't have to just go side pressure. He can go up. Jerry can go all over the pad because he's got that strong bench press and can go like this. He can make Hermes run out of room, basically.
When you said, I know how them WAL pads, they run all the way to the back of the table, so it gives you that extra 2 inches of drag, right? Like you were saying.
Yeah.
When they did that, they should have put 2 inches on the front of the pad too. Because if there's extra 2 inches for someone,
then both of the pads will be touching each other if they put.
No kidding.
Freedom arm wrestling.
No kidding.
The pads are bigger in each person's
at least an inch or something, because if you're going to allow somebody to travel that much further back, I guess you have to be strong enough to contain them from doing that, but it's really hard to stop somebody's lat from dragging, and you gotta have the room to go forward with it too. If they give you that much play going back,
Austin, who came up with the idea? Travis Bajan, I love you, but that was your idea for your 9 foot fucking forearm. You did that. So that was made for Travis by Travis.
Well, that's one of the reasons Michael Todd was so dominant in the WAL too. He has all that room to work with to drag and get into that King's move position.
Yes, I agree.
I think
go ahead.
I think Jerry beating Hermes now in this condition would we can summarize that whole situation in a very small sentence, and that would probably be no top roller in the world can beat Jerry. And I don't think it is a correct statement. I don't think it is true. Like if Hermes cannot beat Jerry, give me the name of a top roller who can actually beat Jerry. I don't think there is one.
Tall guy that can go into the press to beat Jerry.
Who is that tall guy?
Get Devin. Travis went straight into his press with him and took it over. You got a tall guy going to the press.
What about Alex Kardashian? What about Alex took up? Alex is
No,
I don't
really,
know.
really tough.
You have to have a lot of experience with it. I don't know how much.
Do you remember when Hermes Gasparini went against Michael Todd in Italy and he was like hitting and then transitioning with his shoulder behind it? That's kind of the position I imagine him getting against Jerry. He's going to hit explosively and then have to get almost on top like this. It's not a flop press, but almost a cupped in press. It's slightly different. He had that in that match against Michael Todd, if you guys remember that one.
I just don't know if he has the length to do it against Jerry. You're right, but I don't know that he has the length to do it against Jerry.
I think when the match stops, like if we go back to the Dave versus Hermes match, Hermes stopped Dave here and it took him like 1 or 2 surges to bring the match, and immediately he didn't even think twice. Immediately he started posting and climbing on Dave's fingers. I think that's exactly what he's going to trying to do, and at some point we know the straps are not that tight. It is inevitable that at some point Hermes will be arm wrestling Jerry like this. It is going to happen. Like I can almost bet $1,000 on this thing that this position we are going to see this position,
man.
and I'm not sure like Jerry held Georgi, the WAF world champion, like this, but I'm not sure if he can hold Hermes in this position.
And they're going to need a bunch of straps for that match. This thing's going to be falling all over the place.
I definitely agree on that, guys. So I want to move on. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with the Hermes and Jerry match right now?
Well, we're on Jerry. I got some shirts being made of a close-up of Jerry's face screaming Ingen, if y'all want one. My buddy. I just want to let y'all know, now that we're doing this, I got some shirts with Jerry being made. My buddy's
Ingen, winner!
And Paul, we have 255 people watching for the first live stream. Like that's almost a record for a channel with less than 10,000 subscribers.
That's what I like to hear. Amazing. Thank you guys
forgot
for
to
all
turn on the
tuning in.
monetization. People are mentioning that they cannot super chat. You forgot to turn on the monetization on this live stream.
We'll do that on the next one, and there's a couple of things I got to work on. It's my first time doing the live stream, so me and Pradeep, you'll help me with that, and
I'm honored to be on it. I'm honored to be on it, Paul.
Oh, thank Austin, you're our first guest, brother. You're a superstar here, bro. You're going down in history, man.
I was an Austin fan when he screamed in Bierman's face.
You don't come to me and scream "fuck America," bro.
Right. When you did that,
they didn't show that on there, but like after when the tables turned, like Evan was like "fuck America," and I was like, no, not happening, because I remember he told Lachlan that. He said, "Hey, Lachlan, if you want to lose, look at Austin and say fuck America." He's like, he will rip your arm off if you say that.
Oh man.
I'm really disappointed though that Sandra Sadis was supposed to come on. He was supposed to get on at 4 a.m. It's early in the morning there, because what I wanted to really get into was the Pradeep and Sandras, and kind of let them air it all out and squash the beef at the end of it and all. So I'm kind of a little upset with that, but maybe next week we could get them up and we'll have them set 2 alarm clocks or something next time.
We'll get Dr. Phil so y'all can talk through it.
4 a.m. like, man, what are people expecting? It's like impossible. Like, who would join? I wouldn't. If the live show was at 4 a.m., I wouldn't get up for sure, no matter who it was on the chat.
Pradeep, what time is it over by you right now?
7:45 a.m.
Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is with Denis Cyplenkov coming back into arm wrestling and all, and I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on where do you think he lies on the rankings in the world? Do you guys believe he's like the number 2 or number 3 guy right now? So
way too early to tell. Too early to tell.
Austin, what's your thoughts on that? Number 5?
I think he's in the top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pradeep?
Yeah, I would also say he's around that number 5, because for now, if we're talking about now today, I don't think he can beat Lavon. I don't think he can beat Hermes. I think Devin would also beat Denis right now. Zaur got injured; he could have beaten him as well. And
Maybe Dave Chafee.
Dave Chafee, I would love to see that.
Dave Chafee is super explosive, so Dennis's weakness seems to be explosiveness.
Yeah, I would love to see that match. So somewhere around 5, I think it is possible. Vitaly can also cause some troubles because of that.
I was going to say, what's going on with Vitaly? Because Vitaly is just so long, man. I mean, that dude's a sleeper, man. Vitaly's a beast.
Well, now he's back. He's coming in. Yeah, he's coming
No
against
fucking
Tobias' left
clue.
arm though, and I think that he's gonna go through Tobias. Not to take anything from Tobias, I just think Vitaly's too strong left hand. But Tobias, it looks like he's put on a lot of mass and all. Yeah, let's go around and talk about that match as well. Tom, what do you think on between Tobias and Vitaly left hand in the next East versus West?
Yeah, so that's a left arm match. I just made a video on that, but I predicted Vitaly to win. But Tobias super explosive in that top roll if he can keep it in the hand and somehow manage to. I'm imagining Vitaly's going to do like a low hand top roll. So we'll see if Tobias can peel the hand. But I have Vitaly as a favorite. I'd say 3-1. Maybe an explosive pin from Tobias, but 3-1 Vitaly.
Pradeep, what's your thoughts on that?
I would also go with maybe a 3-0 Vitaly. Like we've seen, it is difficult. Artem Morozov tried to top roll Tobias and he got like immediately top rolled himself. So it was not possible. He had to force the hook. I don't think Vitaly can force the hook on him, but I think Vitaly's hand is strong enough. Like the strengths that Tobias has or Tobias has, Vitaly has similar kind of strengths, and I would go with Vitaly on this one because Vitaly's right is great, but for some reason his left looks even better, and I would put Vitaly on a slightly higher level. They're kind of similar arm wrestlers, and I don't think Vitaly would need to dump his wrist that much against Tobias because he's also like 6'4", almost 6'5". So
Good point.
I think it should be a comfortable win for Vitaly.
Austin, your thoughts on that match?
I'm gonna have to go with like what everyone else is saying. I think Vitaly's gonna take it. Vitaly's always impressed me. I mean, ever since I've arm wrestled, that dude has always impressed me because he's always stronger than he looked. He just looks kind of tall and long. And I just think there's always hidden strength in someone like that. I don't know. Vitaly's just a super impressive puller to me. So Vitaly.
Matt Craig, what's your thoughts on that match?
Vitaly 3-0. He's too smart. He's too strong. He's too experienced. I think that Tobias is an animal. I think Vitaly is going to out-arm wrestle him. I think that's what's going to happen in the end. He's very extremely strong, but he's smart. He's going to use his head a lot more, and that's where I think the advantage is going to come in.
Josh, what's your thoughts, brother?
Vitaly's going 3-0. He has a lot of motivation right now, especially after the war he just had with Dave, and then he's had all those upsets in the tournaments over in Russia. I think he's going to come and make a point.
I want to introduce, guys, we got another guest in the house. We got Bo James Olsen. And for you guys that don't know, he's the guy that beat the toddler for my $1,000 bounty I put on the toddler. And Bo was the man. But Bo, being the man he is, he didn't want to just accept this $1,000 as a free handout. And he asked to get down on one of my promotions and get him a super match, which I was proud to have him say that. And I was like, once I looked into this guy and I found out about his past and all the credentials he has, and this guy is an amazing puller. So I got to thank the toddler for putting him into my world. And I got him a match coming up, which we will get into. We're just waiting on the one more person to get in the room before we break into that. But Bo James, welcome to the room. And I just want to get your thoughts on Vitaly versus Tobias sparring left hand in the next East versus West.
Ooh, man. Vitaly is long and strong, man. I don't think I could if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but I would not bet against Vitaly in that. I know dude's a horse, but I don't know, man. He's a freak of nature, and I think he's gonna be real hungry right now.
I agree with that. I think it's too early for Tobias. Tobias is a young up-and-coming lion. I think he's going to be making waves for many years to come. But I think this is just too big of a mountain for him to climb right now. But, it could be an interesting match. But, I think that it's going to be a 3-0 or a 3-1.
Isn't he coming off injury too? Or am I wrong about that?
It was like a hernia. That was back in September for Tobias.
And I also know he's been, he's been putting on some size too. So, I think he's been focusing on massing up and all. So, I've seen a couple of pictures recent, and he's definitely put on some weight, which is a good thing. Next match that I wanted to talk about, guys, is we just heard that Artem Morozov is going to get to go against the king of the arm wrestling world, Lavon, the Georgian Hulk. So I want your thoughts on that. And let's start off with Tom on this one.
Oh, man, Lavon just too strong. I don't think it's time for Morozov quite yet. So I got Lavon winning. Yeah.
Josh, your thoughts on this one?
Remember how Lavon looked at Hermes when he pinned him? He's going to look at Morozov every single round. And boop. He's way too early for Morozov. Lavon's hungry too. Because I think he had a wake-up call after arm wrestling Hermes because he hasn't really been challenged to the point where he was like, I need to work on this. He arm wrestled Hermes. He goes, all right, this is a wake-up call. I can get put into a bad position, kind of. And I don't think he wants to let that ever happen again because he originally said he was never going to lose a round. And he knows there is people out there who could potentially do it. I think Lavon's going to level up and take it. He's just going to be like, I need to work on this and this and this. He's just going to get that much more dangerous.
Pradeep, your thoughts on this?
I think hook may be the only option for Morozov, and I made a video about it where I said if there is anyone who is strong enough to force Lavon in a hook, I think that guy will beat Lavon for sure in that hook. But getting in that hook is the difficult task. Morozov said that the hook is going to be his second or third option, but I don't believe that. How else is he going to beat Lavon? Top rolling Lavon is like impossible thing. He's not going to do that. Maybe a flop press, but just like Hermes, we have never seen a flop press from Morozov. So I also think that it is a little bit too early for Morozov, and I think he's going to get top rolled 3 times.
Austin, your thoughts?
Man, the Terminator's a pretty strong dude. He's so, he's so strong for how young he is. And you look at pictures of the dude, he's so muscular and matured for his age. It's like Brock Lesnar or something, dude. Dude's just a man-child. But like everyone else is saying, I think it's too early. I know they got stout. I know they got strong. You got to be one crazy human being to be able to beat Chafee and Merritt the same day. And that dude did it. And, I'd have to say it's one of the very few humans that can do it on this earth. But I think Levin's just too much for him. Me personally, I'd like to see Levin lose about 25 pounds. I would like to see Levin get in better shape than he was with Hermes. I was disappointed he had to get on oxygen. It was kind of a letdown, man. I just thought he was in a lot better shape, and I don't think it would hurt Levin to get the 360 to 370. I don't think he has to be walking around at 400 pounds to beat everyone. I think, but long story short, I think Levin is going to beat him. Kind of right there with if he can get him in a hook, if Morozov can get him in a hook, it'd be a lot better. But I just think Levin is too much for him. I think Levin's going to have too much over the top out of his hand. I think he won't be able to contain it. I think it's going to stretch him out.
Matt Craig, what's your thoughts?
I think a lot of things. One thing people overlook because he's so massive is what a technical wizard Levin is on the table. If you really look at the Devin match, you can see how he blocked everything Devin was going to do, and all it took was micro movements because he's so massive. Now, going back to what Austin said, I think this is going to be a wake-up call for Levin. I think we're going to see a leaner, meaner Levin come in. I think he's going to be a little under 400 pounds. I think his cardio is going to be better, and he is going to come in pissed off and destructive. I think that, I think Artem has no chance. None. I think I think if they win against Hermes again, Hermes would have no chance. I think we're going to see a whole different Levin, leaner, meaner, and like I said, his table IQ was already through the roof, but a lot of people don't give him credit for that.
Oh, James, your thoughts?
Oh, man, I don't know how you ever would bet against Lavon, but his health and his gas that last match, would leave someone questionable. He looked pretty rough, man. I think a lot of that's probably contributed to he's just a massive ass dude. I think he's probably in really good shape, honestly. I think he's just that big of a dude. Like I heard Austin earlier, I know when I get a little bit heavy, man, if I put on some weight, it don't take me much to feel pretty gassed and pretty winded a lot easier. So, I can't imagine what carrying around 400 pounds. You got to be a strong-ass individual just to carry that much weight around, period. I would never vote him out, man. But dude's a monster. I wouldn't say that there's no chance for the other guy to beat him either, though. You never know what could happen, man. But I would have to say Lavon, absolutely. And, I won't even give the other dude a win. But there's always a possibility that something could happen, even injury or something. I'd knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't happen to anybody. But with those guys that strong and that big, it's an imminent possibility always.
Guys, I would like to introduce, we got another person in the room. We got Quinlan, the Nightmare Mendez in the room. Quinlan's got 2 big super matches coming up, which we're going to be talking about very shortly. But Quinlan, welcome to the room, and we want to hear your thoughts on Lavon Guys, first off, am I saying this wrong? Is it Lavon or Levin? Because everybody seems to go back and forth with it.
Both are wrong.
What's the proper way to say it, Pradeep?
Lavon, L-A-Y, just like L-A-Y, lay and Van. Lavon is the correct pronunciation.
Lavon.
Which nobody seems to pronounce him that way.
Lavon.
Okay, so Quinlan, Lavon, Lavon versus Artem. It sounds so weird to say it that way. Lavon
That's what I'm
versus
saying.
Artem.
Nobody's saying that.
Lavon versus Artem. Oh, not a chance. Not in hell. Hermes even got lucky on his final matches with him. Lavon was dominant the first 2 or 3 matches, it seemed like. I think he just got lucky on the 4th one to hold it up long enough.
Now, my thoughts on this is, I just had Artem on my channel, and Artem was talking about Denis Cyplenkov, and he said it was like hitting a wall. So just him saying that, and that Denis would beat him, I got to think that there's not going to be much of a shot for him to beat Lavon. That's just my personal thoughts. And, after hearing him saying that, I just don't know how good of a match this is going to be. But I do feel he deserves a match with him. I mean, he's definitely up there. There's just not too many guys that are going to give this guy a match. Do I think he's going to take a round? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a very dominant 4-0 win. And, that's just my thoughts on that. But what I want to transition now, guys, is I got a big event coming up April 1st. I've teamed up with Cobra Roads. We're going to be doing the Cobra Classic. It's going down in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you guys can't get there in person, which you guys should, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot more announcements coming. We're going to be having some crazy after party and all. But if you can't check it out there, check out my YouTube channel. We'll be doing a live feed there. It's completely free, no pay-per-view, just giving back to the community. We're going to have some great matches, and we got a couple of these guys in the room right now. So first off, the first match that we're going to talk about is we got Matt Craig, and he is going to be pulling Quinlan Mendez left hand. So first, I want to hear from the competitors. I want to hear Matt. What are you doing for training for Quinlan, and how do you expect this match to go?
Dude, how the hell do you train for Quinlan Mendez? All right, so this is what I'm looking at with Quinlan. Obviously, I had a different super match. We've jumped over, and Quinlan has been placed on me. My training hasn't changed. I do wrist. I work forearms. That's all I do. I don't anything that's not arm wrestling related. I don't mess with it. So the training hasn't changed. I honestly don't even know where to go with this, because what I've had people coming to me and talking about was the Artem and Robbie match, which honestly scares me more, because that was probably a wake-up call for Quinlan. I remember watching Quinlan in 2014, 2015, and before that, when Quinlan was destroying everybody with a mean look on his face. I mean, he was an absolute. It was no fun to be across the table from Quinlan Mendez. That's who I'm picturing coming in here. Anything else, I have no time for. You know what I'm saying? I'm picturing an absolute powerhouse walking in, and I have not had much time to train. So that's absolutely the way I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at myself as the underdog, because I firmly believe I am. And I'm going to go in full, have a good time. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to see what happens.
Quinlan, what's your thoughts on this match going against Matt Craig, left hand?
Yeah, well, first of all, Matt, thanks for all the kind words, brother. I really appreciate it. Looking strong and healthy, that's for damn sure. You look thick. I don't know. I for the last 5 weeks, training hard. Been in the gym nonstop. Been hitting the weights as hard as I can, trying to get back to, the form I was back in 2013, 14, 15. But yeah, I've been just nonstop at practices, been practicing every single week, and just doing nonstop work with my hands, forearms. I'm taking this match very, very serious. I know Matt Craig's got a strong left hand. I've gripped up with him before, and the damn thing was like a fucking, didn't mean to cuss, but it was like a rock, So, I don't know. I've been training hard.
Quinlan, can you give us some of your background in WAL? Because a lot of guys don't know that. I'm pretty new to the sport, but I went on YouTube, and I mean, I'm like, dude, this guy is no joke. He's got some crazy wins, and you were all over WAL. So can you kind of just give us some background on you in WAL?
Yeah, 2014, I was the runner-up at the final tournament for the WAL. A lot of the tournaments they had, the qualifiers, I was getting first place, second place, beating all kinds of top competitors. I felt like the only one that could really beat me back then was Todd Hutchings, and that ain't a very bad loss. But around from 2014 to, like Matt said, around 2017, 2018, I was just tearing the tournaments up and doing my thing and hanging out with all my friends and family out there that arm wrestle.
What's the weight for this match?
What weight are you coming in, Matt? And what weight are you at, Quinlan?
Right now, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
I'm close to 220 right now. Probably sitting right around there.
Quinlan, what's your weight at?
I'm currently 200. I was 200 this morning.
Yeah, we didn't set a weight cap on this. These guys just agreed on taking the match, and I respect that. These guys are down to pull, and they just wanted to take it out on the table and all. Quinlan, I want to find out how long have you been training with the left and all? I know you just found this out I think it's like 2 weeks now, but were you in full out training before that with the left?
Yes. I had a pinched nerve. And I had a procedure done back in December, and it ended up taking a bunch of my left side strength out. And so I've been nonstop trying to get my left in top notch shape. This year I'm really training hard. I really want to get back to the top of the rankings. And, I just been training hard. I really want to show people this year that, I'm back to arm wrestle.
That is great. So, like I guys were telling everybody, Bo James Olsen, he's the winner against the toddler, and like I said, he didn't want to just accept a free check for $1,000, which I totally respect. So he wanted to find a super match, and as soon as I got locked in with the Cobra Classic, I'm like, bingo, this is the place to do it. Let's set him a great match and all. So we got Bo James Olsen, and he is going to be going against Quinlan Mendez right hand. And this one is going to be a banger, guys. And so, Bo, I want to hear a little from you, brother. What can we expect from you that day? And what's your weight? I mean, you're looking huge right now, bro. So what's your weight at right now?
Don't pick on us fat people, Paul. No, I'm 47, man. I've been doing this for damn near 30 years. So, it's weight's always going to be a constant thing for me at my age, man. I walk around about 235, 240. I told Quinlan I'm on the way down. I'm kind of losing some weight. I want to get back down into the lower 200s and stay around there. I was just a 98 national champion, right left-handed, just a couple years ago, man. So I'd like to get back down that lower weight. I work so much, man, and with family and kids and stuff. I mean, I train with my team, but I'm not doing any crazy weight cuts anymore. And I don't mess with no aftermarkets and nothing, man. So I mean, I'm just kind of relying on a good old country boy diet, and I cut down for money and stuff for big tournaments. But I'll be walking in around 230, 235 probably.
And where were you ranked at your highest in North America? Can you give us an idea where you were on the rankings?
Man, I've been in those rankings pretty constantly for about the last a good solid 7 to 8 years. Just depending on what was going on, injuries or stuff. I'm just coming back. This is my excuse me. This is my third time pulling or third event since my bicep reattachment surgery on my right arm. So this is a big test for me too, man. I know Quinlan is a absolute monster. One of my favorite arm wrestlers too. So that presents its own challenge. He's a total monster and someone I admire a lot, and he's a great guy and one of my good buddies. So that makes it even harder for me. But I've been hitting hard. I've been training. We're always training. So we don't take off. We don't rest. if anything, when I found out that this match was moving up and I wasn't going to end up going the route that we thought we were.
Now, Bo, I heard something about you having a match with Jared Levy left-handed. Whatever happened with that?
Yeah, we had that match.
What happened? I never heard anything about it after that.
What do you think happened, Matt?
Jared's a monster. Dude, I don't know.
Oh, I got to ask you, brother.
Good deal. I wasn't sure.
Well, how long ago did you have that bicep surgery?
Oh man, you'd have to ask my wife, brother. I think it's been about 9.5 months, maybe 10 months.
Do you feel you're at 100% now, or?
I mean, I felt I was at 100% in about 15 years, brother. But it's one of them things to where I feel pain-free in the bicep now for sure. And I have a little bit of pronation where I didn't have much of anything before, hence the hook and the inside pulling all the time. Been working a lot on my outside game, trying to strengthen it up, just fundamentals, man, trying to stay strong and trying to stay in shape and keep that arm together. And most importantly, being able to go work, man. I work 50, 60 hours a week as a mechanic. So I got to be able to turn these things for more than just arm wrestling,
Oh, what's going to happen that day? Are you getting to win?
Man, I hope, dude. You put me on the spot. This is my guy right down there. See that big dude?
That's what I'm supposed to do, brother, as the promoter.
Don't be bashful. If you're gonna win,
I'm not going to lie and say that I don't hope that I do. Quinlan's a good buddy of mine. I guarantee you one thing, I'm not going to take it lightly. I mean, the guy's a complete monster. I love him to death and I have nothing but respect for him, but I just like I'm sure that he's going to do. He's coming out there to gun for me. So I'm obviously going to protect my arm and try to come out on top, man. And I know Quinlan well enough to know he's going to do the same thing, but I promise you afterwards we'll hug, lick our wounds, and we'll have a good time and celebrate together like brothers, because he's my homie, man. This is a tough match for me on a lot of levels, not just the physicalities of it. He's a great dude and someone I'd much rather arm wrestle somebody that I don't really like. That gives me a whole lot better edge,
Quinlan, I want to hear from you, brother. What can we expect that day going against Bo James Olsen?
Man, I'll tell you what, I got my right arm's feeling really, really good. It's feeling a lot better in my left, but my right arm, I really want to test it. I got an itch to pull somebody super, super strong, really, really good. And when you guys said Bull, man, ain't no better person to fucking test that right arm against, and left arm too. Matt, I know you're a strong dude, left-handed, but right-handed. Man, I know he outweighs me by a little bit, but I'm ready to arm wrestle. I really want to find out where this arm's at.
What's the key for you to get a win that day? Are you going to have to get him on speed, or are you able to outpower him?
I'm going straight speed and power. I've been working on both. Biggest thing is my power in my right arm right now. It feels really, really strong. And another reason I took this match with Bo, they've been trying to match me up with him for a few years now. I just haven't been able to make it down to Kansas City. Brian Conner was trying to get a match with me to pull him. And, once you said his name, I've always wanted I love him to death, but I know he's a badass dude and I love arm wrestling badass dudes,
So everybody check it out. It goes down April 1st. Like I said, if you can't get to Fort Wayne, Indiana, which you guys definitely should, because we're going to have a blast. Anything that you do with Cobra Roads is going to be wild and a lot of fun. But you'll be able to check it out on my YouTube channel, and all you guys definitely tune in. It's a free show. We'll be adding a couple more things, a couple more announcements coming. So definitely stay tuned, and I'll keep everybody updated. Do any of you guys have any questions for these competitors? Okay, we're gonna go on to another topic that I want to just kind of touch on. It's what is the standard to pull amateurs? Like, when does it say, all right, I've had enough in amateurs, I proved myself, and now I go to pro level? I want to start off with Bo on that question.
I mean, that's one of those things. That's always going to be an age old question, on where someone stands on that. I think a lot of it's got to do with at what level you're really competing at. I mean, I know lots of guys right now that are pulling amateurs that ought to be pulling pro classes, but they don't because they don't think that they're, I don't know, worthy or whatever of it. But I'd say after you win a couple amateur tournaments, you should be pulling pros, strictly pros, depending on the event. I've seen amateur tournaments that WL's put on that, my God, I should have been pulling amateurs probably. So, just one of those things. But I think it's always okay too for people like, I came back and pulled an amateur tournament or two after I had been away for a little while and had been out of the sport, since the early 90s when I got into it. I took a little legal break for a little while. And when I was able to come back, and start getting back into the sport, probably it's been about 10 years now, 10 or 12 years now. But, same thing, I wanted to see where I was at too. I'd arm wrestled a few times and I was locked up, but I hadn't done anything really on any tables or anything, and wanted to see where I stood. And that's how the team came to be or whatever. So just kind of depends on where you're at, man. There's guys that have been pulling for 10 years or so pulling amateur classes that I see at big tournaments. So I definitely think that's a no-no.
Tom, I want to get your thoughts on this.
I mean, if you're just completely going through amateur classes, then you shouldn't still be competing in amateur classes. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Josh, your thoughts?
Well, I think East versus West and King of the Table are opening up the doors with all these qualification tournaments. You're going to know if you're an amateur or if you're able to go up to the next level by just going to these tournaments. You want to get to that level, you're going to at least attempt it whether you're ready or not. You'll kind of have an idea where you're at and where you belong, just going to these qualification tournaments and everything. It's going to open up a door for a lot of people.
Pradeep, what's your thoughts on that?
Qualifiers, East versus West?
No. With pulling amateur level or going to pros, like when does it say, all right, I've did enough in the amateurs, I'm ready for the pros?
I have absolutely no problem where people are saying that if you're a high level arm wrestler, you should not pull in the lower class, because first of all, if that needs to be the case, then there needs to be some rules for that, like who is a pro, like who has won gold in amateur, who has won silver in amateur, or just got a medal. Like we need to have or the amateur is no longer an amateur if he has won the amateur class twice. If there are clear rules to that, then we can speak about it. But the promoters are not making any such rules, and then they're complaining that why are the pros competing in the amateur. First of all, in India and in many other countries, I think this is a foreign concept. Pro, amateur, novice, semi-pro. These that sound absolutely ridiculous. I've never heard anything other than just an arm wrestling class here in India. There is no such thing as a novice or amateur or pro. There's just one class, and I think that's the same for most of the countries in the world.
Austin, what's your thoughts on this?
I kind of have like my own personal my first year ever arm wrestling, I ended up winning nationals in amateurs, actually beating Corey West. It was like his first few years arm wrestling too. So I immediately got forced into pros. If you win national amateurs, you cannot pull amateurs whatsoever. And I didn't know that, or I almost would have sandbagged. But it was a good thing. So it was like, it forced me. My second and third year in arm wrestling wasn't fun because I just got my ass whipped. But I think like everyone else is saying, like Joe said, I know people that have been pulling for years that still pull amateurs because they just don't feel comfortable with it, or they, like he said, they don't feel worthy or as confident, or they just, in their mind, they don't think they're pulling on a pro level. Whenever you practice with them, they're strong as can be. You know good and well they need to be pulling pro, but that's kind of up to them. But at the same time, it's not fair for real amateurs that come to the sport and pull. It's not fair for people that have 5 or 10 years of table experience going against somebody. It's just, so I think it's more of like a mental thing, but I also think it's a step that you have to take as like a man step. I'm tired of pulling people at this level. Let me try stepping my game up. Let me try something better. Let me go after something higher than that. If you pull a few pro classes and you don't do well, maybe you're still amateur, but I think it's getting your feet wet. I think it's jumping in feet first, seeing where you go with it. And good practices also tell you where you're at too. So, not only pulling tournaments, but if you go to a practice with some strong guys and you do well, that kind of, you can kind of get
their opinions too. It's, luckily I have Mike West as a coach and Harold Owens as a coach. And, they have always given me great feedback on where they think I'm at or who I should go after, before I started having a smaller list to cut down. So it's good to have people in your corner that keep it real with you and let you know. And it's also good to have an idea of where you stand, amateur or pro. So,
Matt Craig, same question for you, brother.
Well, in my personal experience, I've been pulling for a couple of years. I've only pulled Texas State one time. I pulled the amateur class, won it easily right and left, went undefeated through it. And Frank and Karen Bean, another arm wrestler whose name I can't remember right now, cornered me and said, "You don't get to pull amateur anymore." And Karen Bean said, "You're coming to my nationals," right? And I did. I went to the nationals in Columbia in 2015. And she said, "That's the last time you pull amateur." So I did that. I went and placed third in the amateur class. Then I pulled pro, and I lost to Alex DeGalco, rest in peace, who I would like that one back because I would win it easily. And I lost to Brandon Elsesser to place third. And so after that, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to pull pro. I'm good. Then my first pro tournament, my first match was against Bryce Whittle, who anyone remembers Bryce Whittle. He was a monster, destroyed me. Then the second person I got to pull was Alan Guerra. So that didn't work out so well. I went 0-2 in my first pro tournament, but it was a growing, learning experience. Yeah, if a person corners you and tells you you don't need to be pulling amateur anymore, then you don't need to be pulling amateur anymore. You got to suck it up and move up a class. That's just me.
Yeah. Quinlan, what's your thoughts on this?
Man, I really feel if you win a couple state tournaments and you place at nationals, you should move up. There's really no need for you to stay down in the amateurs. You should, if you win a state tournaments and you win a few state tournaments at amateur and you go to national, you place, I think you should move up.
Quinlan, how long was it for you to turn to pro?
Oh man, my first year arm wrestling, to tell you the truth. I just seen all these. I started arm wrestling 20 years ago when Scott Ballinger or Bill Ballinger, Cobra, Mike Bolin, a bunch of badass dudes up there arm wrestling, and I wanted to get up there and give them a shot. I wanted to arm wrestle these big dudes, and I just got in the pro classes just to grip up with them and smash me.
Well, guys, I want to end it with that, guys. This was an amazing start of a show, the Arm Wrestling Buzz. I'm really excited how the flow went, and we were on 2 hours, and it went really quick and all. So I just want to thank everybody for coming on, all our special guests. One more time, April 1st, Cobra Classic. Check it out. You can either check out my YouTube channel or come in person, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Anything you'd like to say before we call it a night, guys?
Good luck to you, fellas, April 1st.
Thank you, Josh. Tom, would you like to say anything to end it?
Stay tuned for next week, bringing the podcast weekly.
Pradeep?
Yeah, I think it was an awesome experience. Over 250 people watching and great first show. I enjoyed it.
Great, guys. Well, thank you all for coming on. And this is the conclusion of the first show of the Arm Wrestling Buzz. Have a great night, everybody.
Later, guys. Y'all be good.